The Forgotten Room. Posted by you/Ben_7. I don't usually share stuff like this, but something happened last week, and I can't shake it. I moved into this old Victorian house about a month ago. It's the kind of place with creaky floors and drafty windows, but the price was unbeatable, and I needed a fresh start. Everything was pretty normal until last Thursday. I was in the attic, sorting through boxes left by the previous owners. Amid the dust and cobwebs, I found a small, locked door behind a pile of old furniture. It was about 4 feet high and looked ancient. My curiosity got the better of me, so I spent the next half hour prying it open. Behind the door was a narrow, pitch-black passageway that led to a tiny room, no more than 6 feet by 6 feet. The room had no windows, no light fixtures, just bare wooden walls. In the center of the room was an old rocking chair, facing the corner. On the floor was a dusty, threadbare rug. I felt a chill as soon as I stepped inside. It was unnaturally cold, like the temperature had dropped 10 degrees. The air felt thick, almost oppressive. I took a few steps in, my flashlight flickering, and noticed something strange. The walls had faint, almost invisible scratch marks, as if someone had tried to claw their way out. Suddenly, I heard a faint whisper. I couldn't make out the words, but it was unmistakably a voice, low and desperate. I spun around, pointing my flashlight at the corners of the room, but there was nothing. The whispering grew louder, more frantic. My heart pounded in my chest, and I felt an overwhelming urge to leave. As I backed out of the room, the door slammed shut behind me, plunging me into darkness. The whispering turned into a guttural growl, and I felt something cold brush against my arm. I fumbled for the door, my hands shaking, and finally managed to pull it open. I stumbled out, slamming it shut behind me. I haven't gone back to the attic since. I tried to put it out of my mind, convincing myself it was just my imagination. But last night, I heard the whispering again. This time, it was coming from behind the attic door. It was louder, more insistent, and I could make out words. Help me. I'm at a loss for what to do. Part of me wants to go back up there and see if I can figure out what's happening. But a bigger part of me is terrified of what I might find. I've started looking for a new place, but until then, I'm stuck here, with that whispering growing louder every night. Has anyone experienced something like this before? Any advice would be appreciated. I just want to sleep through the night without hearing that damn voice. Update 1. Hey everyone, Ben here again. Thanks for all the support and suggestions. I took a few days off and stayed with a friend. It helped clear my head, but I knew I had to face the attic again eventually. Armed with a new flashlight and a digital recorder, I decided to investigate the room one more time. When I got back to the house, I immediately noticed something strange. The attic door was slightly ajar, even though I was sure I had closed it before leaving. I hesitated but gathered my courage and went up. The small door was still there, looking as ominous as ever. Taking a deep breath, I opened it and stepped inside. The air was just as cold and heavy as before, but this time, I was prepared. I turned on the recorder and asked, "Who are you? What do you want?" For a moment, there was silence, then the whispering started again, more distinct this time. It repeated the same plea, "Help me." I felt a sudden gust of wind, and the door slammed shut again. I tried to stay calm and asked, "How can I help you?" The whispering stopped abruptly, replaced by a scratching sound coming from the walls. I shone my flashlight around and noticed that one section of the wall looked different. The wooden panel was loose. With trembling hands, I pried it open, revealing a small, hidden compartment. Inside was a dusty, old journal. The pages were brittle, but I managed to read some of it. It belonged to a young girl named Emily who lived in the house over a century ago. Her entry spoke of a cruel family who locked her in the small room as punishment. She wrote about her desperate attempts to escape and her fear that she would die in there. Update 2. I spent the next few days researching Emily and her family. It turns out she was never seen again after the age of 10. There were no records of her death or any mention of her after a certain point. It was like she vanished without a trace. The more I read, the more I felt her presence in the house. The whispering grew louder and more frequent, even during the day. I knew I had to do something to bring her peace. I reached out to a local historian who specialized in paranormal activities. She agreed to come over and help conduct a cleansing ritual. When she arrived, we went to the attic together. The historian set up candles and began to chant, asking Emily to find peace and move on. As the ritual progressed, the temperature dropped even more. The whispering turned into wailing, and the scratching became more frantic. I felt a cold hand grip my arm, and then, just as suddenly, everything stopped. The air warmed up, and the room felt lighter. The historian said Emily had found her peace and moved on. Final update. It's been a week since the ritual, and the house feels completely different. No more whispering, no more cold spots, just a quiet, old house. I've been able to sleep through the night without any disturbances. I'm planning to keep Emily's journal in a safe place as a reminder of what happened. Thank you all for your support and advice through this. It was a terrifying experience, but I'm glad it's over. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for future updates on our channel. Your support means the world to us.